All right, we want to get you to Leesburg, Virginia now. President Biden there delivering remarks at the House Democratic Caucus Issues Conference. He is replying now to the ruling from the special counsel. Let's listen.
Over the 2 days of October the 8th and 9th last year, even though Israel had just been attacked by Hamas on the 7th. I was in the middle of handling an international crisis, but I was especially pleased to see the special counsel make clear the stark differences between this case and Donald Trump. As the special counsel wrote, and I quote, "Several material distinctions between Mr. Trump's case and Mr. Biden's are clear." And by the way, this is a Republican counsel. Most notably, after given multiple chances, this is the continuation of the quote, he returned classified documents and avoided prosecution. Mr. Trump allegedly did the opposite. This is the continuing quote. According to the indictment, he has not only refused to return documents for many months, he also obstructed justice by enlisting others to destroy evidence and then lie about it. In contrast, Mr. Biden turned in classified documents to the National Archives, the Department of Justice, consented to a search of multiple locations, including his homes, and sat for a voluntary interview, and in other ways cooperated with the investigation. That's the distinction, among others. The bottom line is the special counsel, in my case, decided against moving forward with any charges, and this matter is now closed. I'll continue to do what I've always done, stay focused on my job, like you do, of my job of being president. That means going to work with all of you every single day I can. Thank you for being great partners. Just this week, House Democrats showed how united you are. You defeated Mayorkas' impeachment resolution. And I had no doubt he'd get out of his hospital bed and come in and vote. No, I'm not joking. I talked to him a little bit. Not after, not before. You defeated the Israeli-only supplemental. They weren't easy votes for you, but all of you came through in a big way. All of this just shows that when we're united, we can beat House Republicans in their cynical political games. And you've been incredible partners that have delivered historic results for the American people. I've traveled to many of your districts. I see the results on how you came through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. Akeem just mentioned many of those accomplishments. Vaccinating America, rebuilding America, bringing prices down and delivering every day for everyday Americans. Recent Washington Post headline, never thought I'd see this for a Democrat, says, "Falling inflation and rising growth give the United States the world's best recovery," end of quote. Because of you. No, I mean it. I may have some good idea, but you got it done. But I'd like to use my time to talk about the future. You know what it means to finish the job, from my perspective. We made progress, making the biggest corporations only begin to pay their fair share. We were able to keep everything in place when the Republicans kept changing the deals we made about spending and like, right? Remember those days? Well, with the minimum remember those 50 corporations that didn't pay a penny in taxes, made $40 billion? Well, guess what? They paid a corporate tax of 15%, and we're able to keep everything paid for and still cut the deficit. We helped pay for historic investments and reduce the federal deficit. But we're not done. Trump's $2 trillion tax cut overwhelmingly benefited the super wealthy and biggest corporations and exploded the deficit. And it's coming up pretty soon for a decision of what we're going to do. He's already said he wants to not only keep it, but increase it. Finishing the job means getting the Trump tax cut, gutting the Trump tax cut, closing the loophole for billionaire minimum tax. You know, we went from 750 billionaires in America before the pandemic to 1,000 now. You know what the average tax they pay is in federal tax? 8.3%. Billionaire, those 1,000. 8.3%. That's less than a teacher or a firefighter. And I go down the list. I promised a billionaire minimum tax of 25%. And if we did that, it would raise $440 billion. 25%, $440 billion could pay for child care, elder care, and so much more, and reduce the deficit. You know, we're also planning for a long-term effort to, I think we have to deal with the tax structure in a way.
All right, it's continuing with his prepared remarks there, but we've been listening to President Biden speak at the House Democratic Caucus Issues Conference that's in Leesburg, Virginia. But as we threw to him, you heard him respond to the special counsel now not filing criminal charges, or the Justice Department at least, in relation to his handling of classified documents. And right off the top, Lana, he made the distinction, reading from the report, saying, unlike former President Trump, President Biden says he turned in documents, he participated voluntarily with an interview and cooperated with the investigation. So his immediate response is to say, this is separate than what happened with
And that's,
Trump.
Of course, something that we have been asking our panel of experts throughout the day, and certainly President Biden focusing on what came out of special counsel Robert Hur's report that Congress now has that delineates that difference between the former president, Donald Trump, who now faces criminal charges, unlike President Biden.
Right.